Uh, First of all, I'm going to talk about, since it's about like teachers' expectations of a professional development, I would like to talk about what's a professional development. But before what's a professional development, I want to say that our main aim in education is, especially in science education, we are trying to make next generations or more like scientifically literal. Like this morning in the keynote speaker talked about like the circumstances are changing. We need to make our students be more compatible with like 21st century skills, such as questioning, critical thinking, etc. Generally, in different countries, we have standards for this, such as in the United States, there's next generation science standards, and in the Turkey, we have also standards related to 21st generation skills. However, standards by themselves is not going to work. We need teachers to adapt to those new standards. Also, as a pandemic, we have like different kind of circumstances too. So teachers really need help to adapt those new standards and those new circumstances. In this way, the professional developments are really supporting teachers to teach those new ways. Also, in professional development, teacher success leads to student success. We need to help teachers to get more skills as much as they can. I have like two different definitions. We are talking about why PD is important. What we first need to define what's professional development. I like those two definitions. One is talking about PD is teachers' constant development throughout their careers. And the next one I like a little bit better because it's also talking about facilitating teachers to help students to learn, which are, again, the main aim is helping students. So even though, as we, professional development comes in different types and different lengths and different focuses. For instance, it can be, this morning we kind of talk about it too, workshops, seminars, and courses, and the length can be changed from 1 to 2 days to sometimes for years. It's not that common, but there are some PDs that goes for years. And can also range between teacher, it can be just come and sit and listen something, and then in some they're more active, they're learning or creating curriculums and stuff like that. When we look at the focus, it can go, mostly it's like either content knowledge or pedagogical knowledge or technological knowledge. As you can see, we have a range focus on PD, but however, most of them has fixed content. It's not really based on teachers' needs or based on the teacher. So this is why our research is focused on developing an instrument to determine teachers' expectations. If we understand their expectations and their needs, we can adapt our professional development based on the teacher's needs. For this reason, we decided to develop an instrument. This is the development process, our development process. First of all, we did a detailed literature review. In our research group, we looked at professional development programs, what's an effective PD, and expectations of professional development. There are some studies on expectation of professional development, but most of them are either like qualitative studies or not really focusing on teacher, but like overall focusing. Some of them also looking at administrative perspective, etc. After this detailed literature, we hold meetings and we discussed about what's our focus and how can we adapt those onto our instruments. And then a smaller group start writing items, and then those items were checked for the language and appropriate for the teachers. In our initial instrument, we have 51 items and 6 themes. You can see the themes. I need to keep it short. And then we had like 5 points Likert scale from strongly disagree to strongly agree. After we developed the instrument, we applied to 322 teachers from all over the Turkey. This was applied online via Google Forms. And then we have 82 elementary school teachers, we have 70 middle school teachers, and then we have high school science teachers and some other teachers. Our data was analyzed with SPSS 20, so we test the validity and reliability of the scale, Cronbach Alpha, Kaiser-Meyer-Olkin, and Bartlett test, and exploratory factor analysis were examined. We also use Pearson, product, moment, correlation, and t-test. If you look at, we find that the KMO value was 0.91, and also you can see the Bartlett test of the, I'm sorry, you can see that this test record. And then these two analyses shows that our data set was suitable for exploratory factor analysis. In this table, you can see that we included the factors, actually, only the average value was greater than one in this analysis. And if you see that the total, the version of the scale explained, this scale explained that 60.11% of the variance in the 6-factor scale. When we look at, I know you can't really read those, but you can see that we have like 6 different sub-factors, 6 dimensions. So in the first exploratory analysis, the item factor loads values were calculated as greater than 30. We had 2 items, item 16 and 28, they weren't appropriate, so we removed them. And finally, our number decreased to 49 items. Based on the Wehrmacht's vertical rotation, the 49 items divided into 6 sub-dimensions. All items provide sufficient factor loading to load related sub-dimensions above 0.30. And then when you look at this is our labeling, you can see the number of items, how they divided, and you can see for each factors from support practice learning, and then you can see the number of them. The names didn't change, just a few of the items were changed during the analysis, after the analysis. It will take a little bit of time. For construct validity of the scale, corrected item total, Pearson product, moment correlation values used. You can see that the correlation values, you probably cannot, but correlation values are between 0.44 and 86. Also, we did the t-test and we look at the upper and lower 27% to see if there is to see if there is a significant difference, and the results shows that there is a statistically significant difference between upper and lower groups. And on the left side, the Pearson product moments correlation coefficients correlation are calculated among the scale of sub-dimensions, and the analysis results show that there is a statistically significant relationship between the dimensions of the scale, which can be interpreted as the reliability of the scale. And when we look at the Cronbach Alpha reliability coefficients, you can see that was like flux like between 0.77 to 93, and the total was 0.49. And I'm going to wrap up with the key findings. This instrument is found as valid and reliable measurement tool, and it consists of 6 dimensions. The instrument can be used to determine teachers' professional development program expectations. And we have, of course, limitations for this study, and we can address that in the future studies. For instance, it can be used just with teachers, not administrators or students. And it can be used with like different sample groups, as I mentioned this morning. And I think this will be really interesting to see, especially with hesitant teachers. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you very much.